is like suitable for them.
Yeah, but like.
Okay, well, I think that they will come back because they like.
Riley, Toad's turn. Oh, go.
Because
Okay,
they
Riley,
like.
let Owen talk. He hasn't talked like this.
No.
You keep.
Owen, just go. Let's go.
Hello.
Go.
Okay. So, I forgot what Zara said.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was saying like answering Sydney's question that like Eritrea must be like so bad with the government not letting them do anything that like anything that has a chance of being better than Eritrea is suitable for them.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that when they don't really know anything about it, so they also don't know how to get anything. Yeah, they can't really make a life.
They can't government and military are like one of the people that are like in power.
Back to what Louis said. Louis and Flossie. So they were. Well, a lot of people here are actually calling it a warlord community of a country. So I mean, I really wouldn't call it that because it's not. They're not really in wars. They're more defending their own place and forcing people to stay in. So I wouldn't call it a warlord country, but I mean.
No, but it's not a warlord country.
But it's corrupt enough to.
Like the guy in charge, he's an army person. He's like a soldier kind of person, and so he's the person that's making them. It's not the country's a warlord kind of thing. It's the person in charge of the country.
But that makes the whole country the same thing too, because if they're all going into the army, then they're all gonna be like that.
No, but he
And
is
everyone's in fear of going into the army when they're growing up.
Yeah.
So
And
kids are scared for growing up because when they're a kid, they need to figure out something to do. Because if they can't figure out anything to do, they're going into the army and making their country more like a war place.
Well,
I don't know.
But when they go into the army,
one person just being in charge of whatever he thinks has to just be okay, instead of having like the government that we have. If he wants for it to be a warlord, it's gonna be a complete war.
It's gonna be a war.
when they go into the army though,
What if they go into the army and then they like rebel against the army?
but when they go into the army,
Because most of the countries in the army, Riley, most of the people are in the army. Most of the men are in the army. That's why they couldn't do it. And most of the people who were in the army have guns.
when they go into the
So you
army,
can't just shoot up the army. You can't just shoot up the army.
Yeah, because then it's just.
Because most of the dads are not
like when they go into the army, when the people go into the army, after they can't do anything because they only make like around $8 a month, so they don't have enough money to do anything after.
They're in the army until they're like 55. Like they don't get to leave the army when they're 30. They're in it until they're either like they can't fight anymore or they're just like too old to work.
Yeah, I think because if they don't find something to do, that's like half their life just fighting to either
They're not fighting against anything either.
Exactly.
That's the problem with all their funding because
Nope, I got two people out.
because they're funding people's lives instead of pursuing something else.
Yeah, like clean water.
I think that also like the people who catch the people trying to flee and like torture them, like they don't stop for anybody. Like they are like such like not necessarily cold-blooded, but they're like heartless people that live. Like I know they get paid and they have to do that to feed their family, but like personally, like I wouldn't be able to like live with myself if every day I went to work knowing I'd like torture people. Like that's just like,
I agree.
This country.
And also, guys, I just want to say in America.
No.
In America,
This country.
He hasn't talked at all, like seriously.
It's fine.
Guys, okay, calm down.
Oh, let's go.
Thank you for finishing. Well, also, I read something. So everyone's saying like YouTube's like a horrible place because the army's like bad. But there's like nice geography. But also like I read something in an article that like young Eritreans who aren't in the army yet, like they go out at night and they like party. So and like the kids like to play. So it's like not all horrible. Like there's good parts too. I have a question.
It's fine, Riley.
Guys, it's a conversation, okay? Calm down.
Go ahead.
Well, okay, sorry. I have a question. So in the text, I kind of figured out that smugglers and people like smugglers or like people that conspire about the government are what the president says as the president of Eritrea says he says that they would be considered rebels. Would what's it called, the Sinya or would the Sinhai be considered rebels to the Eritrean forces?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
know. Well, technically they're not because they're doing what they would have to do anyway.
Oh, yeah,
It's like
so-
another form of it. They're kind of
And
with
also,
and against.
honestly, people in the military, like generals, are part of the Sinhai, or whatever you call it. Like,
Oh.
they're people who have high ranking are part of it. So,
It's like another way to get money because they pay so little in the
No,
army. It's
actually,
like
How'd they get?
the people that they're having ransom from, they're like asking people to pay like $40,000, and people are really like a lot of people just can't pay that. They can't.
That's
a lot of
like a
people.
lot to do it.
Yeah,
That's with all.
that's just like a lot in general.
It is, and people can't pay that, so they're not doing it because they need to feed their families. They're just doing it because they want more money and they want to hurt people.
maybe for
That's a way to get money. That's a job.
Hi. So, I just wanted to go back to when people are saying like the military's not fighting any wars. So I was reading a lot, like they brought it up in almost every single article I read that they're in a part of the border war with Ethiopia, and that is what the military is fighting for, and it's not like just like raping people and killing them, because that's just a different like I don't have the evidence to say this, but like that's not all the military, because they are drafting the military from these people that are living in Eritrea, so they don't want to kill like other people that are almost in the same situation as them, and like because they're not like fighting the war against like the people of Eritrea. They're fighting like not even a war almost, but like just they're fighting a border war, but then also the military they're not the ones necessarily like killing these people. It's also like that.
So
Because
they're-
I-